Hey guys, Tom here from Metalloud, and I'm here to review the new album from ROMP called Departure from Venus. So ROMP are a three-piece outfit out of New Jersey, focusing on indie rock with a lot of pop elements to them. A lot of their songs, despite lyrical content that may be a bit more emotional, are definitely more on the poppy side of things in terms of the music, with a lot of upbeat melodies and things like that. And this is the first album that we get from them. I did review their EP called Sorry Not Sorry a while ago, and actually it was one of my favorite EPs of 2015, since it was technically re-released in 2015 with an added song called Burrito, which is probably the best food-based song that's ever been recorded. So they're definitely one of a band that I really enjoy, and I was anticipating this album a lot. And they had released a single off of it originally called Last Year, and I really dug that song. So I was definitely anticipating this, and now it's available to stream and buy digitally, and the actual physical album will be out March 4th on Bad Timing Records. So this album is called Departure from Venus, and it kind of takes everything that I enjoyed about the EP and just amps it up a lot. And there's just a lot of songs on here to enjoy, starting right off the bat with the song Backfire, which is kind of about going back to an ex that you kind of feel comfortable with, that they already know everything about you, and how it's not always such a bad thing, because you know that you're going to be comfortable with that person, despite the fact that you may have had a falling out or whatever led to a breakup or anything like that. There's songs like Get Off the Scale, which are definitely more of an aggressive song, while Backfire definitely deals with emotional issues. Like I said, it also is kind of a more poppier song. It's a little bit more upbeat in its musical styling, versus Get Off the Scale, which is a more aggressive track. It's reminiscent of like early 90s punk music, things like that. Definitely in kind of not mainstream sound of punk, when it kind of started blending in with punk and hardcore and hard rock, and all that kind of got blended in together. It really kind of feels reminiscent of that style, that kind of aggression that music had, and it works very, very well with what it's doing. They're just the songs like I mentioned, Last Year, which are infectiously poppy and yet still kind of have a emotional lyrical content to them. So despite that, they're still managed to be really, really kind of fun and enjoyable to listen to, and very kind of light songs that'll kind of stay stuck in your head, which is something I very much enjoy. I think they kind of really nailed that down, and it's kind of a difficult thing, I think, for a lot of bands to, especially indie bands, to kind of nail down, is that edgy, kind of rough, do-it-yourself indie style and production and polish and everything like that. And it's kind of a fine line to walk, where you can become too polished and too produced, and where it sounds like it was manufactured, or you could be too rough, where it just sounds kind of muddy and dirty, and nobody wants to listen to that either. And I think ROMP kind of really, really found that line, and they definitely managed to kind of hit that line perfectly with this album, where it is a perfect blend of poppy music, but it's also got that aggression. It's also got those emotional lyrics that are going to connect with people and things like that. And speaking of emotional lyrics that connect, there's a particular track on here which is my absolute favorite track on here, called Come Undone, which it definitely feels about self-harm and kind of doing things because you're just so frustrated that somebody, especially somebody who's supposed to be with you, is not paying attention to you or anything like that, that you kind of feel like you have no other option but to do something like that, so maybe they'll actually realize that you exist. And I think it's something a lot of us have gone through at some point. Maybe you haven't been there to the point where you've actually, self-harmed, but I think that feeling is something that we can all kind of connect to, and it's something that kind of hit home personally for me, I really kind of connected emotionally to the lyrics of that song. But even despite the lyrics on here, it's still probably the best example of the band together making music. It's definitely musically the best track off of this album, with everything that's going on in it. And I just really enjoy that song, and I appreciate what they did with it, because especially with that topic, it's something that can easily go awry. You could get to the point where you're almost promoting self-harm. You can get to the point where it feels like you're mocking self-harm or shaming self-harm, and dismissing the idea that some of us get to that point where it's so frustrating that you feel like it's literally your only option and it's the only way to make things better. And it sounds absurd, but for some people that's how it is. So I really appreciate that they kind of did it in a way that felt genuine and honest and real, and wasn't exactly trying to again, promote or shame it, or mock it or anything like that. And I think that's an excellent thing that they did with this track. And I feel like a lot of people listening to it are going to be able to kind of connect to it and feel something from that track, called Come Undone. So overall, I mean, this album is excellent debut album from this band. They have a lot going on for them. They excellent front woman, Madison Cluller. I did feature her in my video segments, Woman Crush Wednesday. I featured the band and her in particular, because I feel like she does have a ton of talent, vocally speaking, especially on particularly my favorite track with her on here is the title track, Departure from Venus, when she's crying out, liars, liars, talking about how, people always tell you things are going to get better after a breakup or after whatever, and it never seems that way. You always feel like those people telling you are just liars and, just trying to make you feel better. And I just feel her voice when she's doing that is just fantastic on that, and she has a really great range vocally, and Lucas on guitar is just absolutely fantastic, shredding away on these songs here. I really love his range as well, dynamically speaking. I mean, going from, like I said, the kind of aggressive punk music of like the 90s, and then more kind of indie rock of today, and then pop, and then everything in between. And there's such a great varied style on here. It's just fantastic. I think the band altogether, they work very, very well together, and it shows on this album. So if you are a fan of any of what I've been talking about, emotional lyrics, poppy tunes, even aggressive kind of punk do-it-yourself edginess to it, you should definitely check these guys out. And like I said, their album will be officially out March 4th on Bad Timing Records, or it's available now digitally. I believe they're giving you the download before the release, and it's also available to stream as well over on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for watching the review. If you want to say anything about this album, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like the video, and you can always keep up with me on social media at Metalloud on Twitter, Metal_Loud on Instagram, as well as there is a Facebook page for Metalloud. If you like what you saw, go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more.